According to the Hindu epic Mahabharata, Jarasandha was a descendant of King Brihadrata, the founder of the Brihadrata dynasty of Magadha. He was also a great devotee of Lord Shiva and one of the strongest and the greatest Senapati, who was also known to be a great wrestler. But he is generally held in a negative light owing to his enmity with the Yadava clan in the Mahabharata. So let's learn about one of the strongest warrior who was called as the worst enemy of Lord Krishna. Jarasandha's father, King Brihadrata, was married to the twin daughters of King Kashi. Brihadrata loved both his wives equally but had no sons. Once, sage Chandrakaushika visited his kingdom. The king welcomed and honored the sage, and the sage was so pleased with the king's generosity and conduct that he wanted to reward him. So the king asked and wished for a boon. Brihadrata knew that his two queens were longing to have children, and the king asked the sage for his blessings upon his wives, so that they could bore him a son. The sage agreed and gave a fruit to the king as a blessing, and told the king to offer the fruit to his wife, and she shall be blessed with a son. As the king had two wives, he divided the fruit equally between both of his wives and gave it to them. Soon, both his wives became pregnant, but their joy was short-lived, as both the queens gave birth to two halves of a human body. The queens were horrified to see a lifeless body which was split into two equal halves. Displeased with the birth of a lifeless child, King Brihadrata ordered the queen's attendees to throw the two halves into the nearby forest. The forest belonged to a great demon named Jara. She was known to devour humans and animals alike. She was a goddess of the forest, and she found the two halves of the dead human body. She picked up one with her right hand and the other with her left and wrapped them both in a sackcloth. After walking a distance, she brought both of her palms together, and the two pieces joined and became a living child. The child started crying loudly, which caused Jara to panic. She didn't have the heart to eat a living child. So Jara took the baby to the king and explained to him about everything that happened. The king, who was the father of the baby, was overjoyed to see his son alive. King Brihadrata was very pleased with Jara and wanted to reward her according to her desire. She expressed her desire that the child be named after her, and thus the child was named Jarasandha. Jara, the name of the demon, and Sandha meaning joining, or the one who was joined by Jara, the she-demon. Jarasandha became a mighty warrior and the undisputed king of Magadha. During one of his reigns, Jarasandha's attention fell on Kamsa, when the latter tried to invade Mathura. Kamsa single-handedly routed Jarasandha's army, and Jarasandha was so impressed with Kamsa's bravery and warrior spirit that he offered his two daughters, Ashti and Prapti, to be married to Kamsa. Kamsa was the maternal uncle of Lord Krishna, who swore to kill Lord Krishna as per a prophecy. Krishna would kill him otherwise. Kamsa was a very cruel person and germinated fear in human hearts by his nefarious ways. Krishna caused the death of Kamsa, and after Kamsa's death, King Jarasandha became a great enemy of Krishna, as his two daughters were widowed due to Krishna. Thereafter, Jarasandha vowed to kill Krishna. Jarasandha attacked Mathura with an army of 23 Ashokanis, but Krishna and Balrama somehow managed to fight the whole army of Jarasandha and his allies. Jarasandha attacked Mathura 17 times and was defeated by Krishna. During the 18th attack, the Yavana king Kalayavana also attacked Mathura with a huge army. With his yogic powers, Krishna summoned Vishwakarma and asked him to build an impregnable fortress on an island near the sea, which was done in no time and was named Dwaraka. Krishna somehow dealt with Kalayavana and his army, But when he and Balrama saw Jarasandha's army, they got afraid and started running away, with Jarasandha in pursuit. They reached Mount Pravarsavana. The duo ascended the hill. Jarasandha set fire to the whole hill, but Krishna and Balrama escaped unscathed and went to Dwarka. Jarasandha was also a major hurdle before the Emperor Yudhishthira when the latter decided to perform an offering. Jarasandha was a powerful warrior. It was necessary for the Pandavas to get rid of him. As he was the strongest warrior, and Lord Krishna knew that if the Kurukshetra war broke out, then Jarasandha would definitely be on the Kauravas' side, and this would defeat the Pandavas. Jarasandha possessed demonic qualities from birth, so naturally he became a great devotee of Lord Shiva, who is the lord of all ghostly powers and demonic powers. Jarasandha planned to perform a yagna in which he would offer 100 Kshatriya kings, and with this offering he would become the strongest emperor in the world. Krishna knew that if this yaga was successful, no one would be able to withstand the power of Jarasandha. So he wanted to sabotage the Rajasuya Yagna. King Yudhishthira heard about the yaga in which Jarasandha was going to offer a sacrifice to Kalabhairava. Yudhishthira and Krishna bore in mind that they cannot defeat him in battle as well because his army was too strong to fight. So they sought other means to kill him, and Lord Krishna wanted to kill him at any cost. But he also wanted those who served as military men for Jarasandha to live, and he had the task to save the 99 captivated kings before they were offered in the yagna. Therefore, a plan was adopted to kill him. Krishna, Bhima and Arjuna together went to Jarasandha disguised as poor Brahmanas and begged charity from the king. Jarasandha never refused charity to any Brahmana, as he performed many sacrifices on par with devotional services. After a while, Krishna, Bhima and Arjuna revealed their true identity and asked him to wrestle with one of them. Jarasandha selects Bhima for a duel. Both Bhima and Jarasandha were accomplished wrestlers. Krishna knew that the purpose would only be served if Bhima fought Jarasandha. There were two kinds of wrestling matches in those days. One was as a sport where once you floored the opponent, the match was over. Another was a life and death match where you had to kill the opponent in the ring. So they asked for the second kind of wrestling, and Bhima challenged to wrestle Jarasandha in the life and death match. Despite the fact that they disguised themselves as Brahmanas, Jarasandha did not object. He agreed to and treated them as his guest with great honor and hospitality. The wrestling match started after a few days. Bhima and Jarasandha fought every day for 3 hours, and this duel lasted for 13 days. Though Bhima was younger and much stronger than Jarasandha, he could not defeat him, and Krishna realized that he was unbeatable. Krishna saw that Bhima became more and more disappointed and was growing tired of fighting him. So, he decided that finally on the day of Amavasya, he would put an end to it. The deceitful Krishna hatched a plan during the duel. While Bhima was watching Krishna at the wrestling match, he knew that he wanted a scheme to defeat Jarasandha. So Krishna smartly took a leaf and tore it into 2 halves. Bhima knew of Jarasandha's birth and remembered how the 2 pieces of an infant were joined together. So he immediately understood what he had to do. He put one leg on Jarasandha's left, tore him into 2 pieces and threw the halves down. But to this and everyone's surprise, the 2 pieces rolled together, joined, and Jarasandha sat up again. That was when Bhima felt his death was imminent. Then Bhima finally tore him apart, and this time he threw the 2 halves in opposite directions, just as Krishna did. People anxiously waited to see if the 2 parts of the body would again come together and sit up. But Jarasandha was finally defeated and he died. When Yudhishthira came to know that Jarasandha had been slain, he sent forth his 4 brothers with great armies to collect tributes from every king in the world. Some welcomed them, and the others were conquered with the battle. But one way or the other, they had to swear allegiance to the king. And this way they joined forces and achieved victories by getting rid of a mighty warrior through deceit.